I think we all right. Think we okay. Let me take these rings off. I told you, man. Um, Trying to drum with rings on is not really the move. How y'all feeling, man? Urban Therapy with Sun 752. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. Saturday afternoon, 1:30 as promised last night. I want to thank everybody. Speaking of last night, I want to thank everybody for coming out last night, representing like y'all do. Let me move a little closer. Yeah, let me move a little closer. Yeah. Let's get a little more personal. Let's get a little more personal. I'm gonna move it here. Yeah. Get a little zoom in. We here? We here? Are we all right? Are we good? Everybody straight? Look, y'all, I told y'all I was gonna shave today. How look? Am I lined up correctly? Am I lined up now? I like this side better. Now I'm not saying that y'all care about this, but I like this side. This side grows better than this side. Sometimes I have a problem growing this in good. You know what I mean? So it's not like symmetrical. Or it could be that I just can't cut straight. It could be that I just can't cut straight. It could be that I just can't cut straight. It could be that I just can't cut. It could be that I just can't cut straight. It could be that I just can't. Be that I just can't cut straight. It could be that I just can't cut straight. It could be that I just can't cut straight. That just can't straight. It could be that I just can't. That I just can't cut straight. But anyway, this is Urban Therapy with Sun Show. I'm your host, Sun 752. 752. 752. And we are talking about a casual relationship marriage. A casual relationship marriage. Now, a casual relationship marriage is not a real thing. It's something that I developed, something that I made up, something that you may find interesting, or something that you may blow off like, that's so ridiculous. That's so ridiculous. That don't make no. What are you talking about today? I ain't talking about marriage that goes that way. But a casual relationship marriage is basically, you know what a casual relationship is? That means no commitment. We see each other when we see each other. It might be on a physical relationship, like we are sexually attracted to each other. So when we get together, we be like, But other than that, there's really no commitment. There really isn't any hope or structure or plans for the future, for a future together. And some people go as far as marrying somebody where that's the case. Now, you may know of some people who are involved in a situation like that, but they may be doing it unknowingly. They may be doing it unwillingly. Like maybe one person really wants to be married and the other person just wants to be married. Let me explain to you what I mean by that. When a person wants to be married, that means that they see the future in with that person that they are married to in it. That means that they may want to build a family. They may want to buy a home. They may want to, be in a rocking chair with each other, or being in one of these videos that you see on social media where they be like, if my husband, or if my spouse and me can't do this and that, I don't want it. That kind of thing. And the other one is just good with marriage as a title. They're good with marriage as an entity. They're good with marriage as an idea. Maybe they still have to warm up to what a real marriage is supposed to be. And I use the word real in quotes, and I use that. I use that. I'm kind of saying it with a grain of salt. Some marriages are very unconventional, and it's not something that people seek judgment on. Normally, when people get married, they're together the way that they want to be together, and they don't really want to invite a lot of people from the outside to tell them how they should be married, and that's fine. But when we're talking about a casual relationship marriage, we're talking about two people who were married, but they're not really married like that. When one person wants to be married, they see the future with that person that they're married to. When the other person just wants to be married, they want to be able to say that they're married. They just want to be able to say that they're married. Now, you may know people who are married and they really just got married to say that they were married. And you may know people who were married and they really went all in. Now, I'm 54 years old. I'm 54 years old. I'm 54 years old. I'm 54 years old. I'm doing like a birthday song. How old are you? How old are you? I'm 54 years old. And at my age, when people want to get married when they are middle aged, you get a different look of what they think marriage is going to be or supposed to be. For example, when you're middle aged, you may be on your second or maybe even your third marriage. So you may have already had children. So, having children is not on your radar anymore. For most marriages, and I say most because there are a lot of different ways to get married, a lot of different reasons to get married for a lot of different people. But I'm going to say that especially in a young marriage, you're probably thinking that, okay, we're going to have children and we're going to blend families and we're going to build our family from the grassroots level, from the ground up. So we're going to get married, we're going to have children, we're going to buy a house, we're going to raise our children, we're going to build our wealth, and that's what we're going to do. In a middle age marriage, the motivation to get married may be totally different. In a middle age situation, the motivation to get married might be totally different. So you may not be looking to have any more babies. Shorty might have her tubes tied. Like, ain't no babies coming out of here. I'm getting ready for menopause or already going through menopause. So you may have to deal with people's existing children, their adult children, or maybe their children who are just about to become adults. Maybe they are teenagers, getting ready to graduate high school, already have graduated high school, that sort of thing. So, building a family is in the traditional way from the ground up. That's not what you're looking for. You're pretty much continuing on. So you have to ask yourself, when middle-aged people get married, what are they getting married for? A lot of them are getting married for love, and some of them are getting married for security. You've heard about the whole marriage being a business thing. You don't hear young people saying that. At least I haven't. Maybe you have heard young people saying that. I have not. I haven't heard young people talk about marriage being a business. I usually hear my old heads. Yeah, my old heads, I usually hear them saying, well, middle-aged, old heads. I guess middle-aged people are old heads to younger people. Anybody who's in their 20s, they looking at people in their 40s and they 50s as they old heads. Fair enough. Well, the middle-aged old heads, they are talking about marriage as a business. Like, listen, I got a couple of dollars, you got a couple of dollars, or I'm getting ready to get a couple of dollars, you're getting ready to get a couple of dollars. Let's make sure that we secure our future, because neither one of us want to die and have to give our estate to the state. We don't want to die and leave our estate to the state. And this is another thing that you might have to consider. Going back to the whole children thing. Some middle-aged people have not had any children. They haven't had any children. So that may mean that they may have to take on the role as a mom or a dad to stepchildren that may or may not be interested in being with them. Casual relationship marriage. And now, one of the elephants in the room may have to consider and talk about is people who are married who don't even live together. You want to talk about a casual relationship. In a casual relationship, you don't normally live together. Well, guess what? There are some people who are married who don't live together. We gon' have this talk day. We gonna make it go our way. I said we gon' have this talk today. Y'all, at the Urban Therapy with Sun show today, everything is gonna be okay with the. Yo, I want to thank y'all for coming through. Please hit the like button. What you do with the. Yo, my name is Sun752 and real name is Omar. You call me that too. With the. I've come a long way. Come a long way. Yo, answer the poll question today. Could you be in a marriage where you don't stay? Or you let them play with who they want to play? Just don't bring me home to no diseases today. And no babies, nobody, young girls, okay? Speaking of the. Yeah, we're gonna talk about this. Everything is gonna be all right. All right, so that's where we at with it. Let's go ahead and have this talk, baby. Let's go ahead and have this conversation on this glorious, somewhat gray day. I don't know what the weather looks like wherever y'all are in the U.S. or anywhere around the world, but over here on the East Coast in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, it's a little gray today. But I want to say this: Urban Therapy with Sun752. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. We do this every single Saturday from 1 p.m. till around 2:30 ish. And the reason that we say 2:30 ish is because sometimes it gets so heated that we just have to do a little OT on a Saturday. And it is Saturday. This is the show where adults come out and play with other adults. We laugh, we cry, we argue, fuss, and fight, go back and forth with each other, bust it up all crazy. We take an introspective look into our own personality to see the way that the universe projects us into this thing called the world and try to figure out this thing called life. I am your host, Sun752, aka Omar with the. And if you can't say Omar with the, well, then you just say Omar with the R. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. I'm feeling like a real man should. I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should also. We are talking about a casual relationship marriage. A casual relationship. A casual relationship marriage, baby. What? No, that's what we talking about. No, I'm not going to stand up the whole show. No. I'm going to take my seat at the table just like everybody else. How are y'all today, man? What's good? Please do me a favor, a quick favor. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, you're going to like this show today. Today is going to be a good little cerebral conversation. Cerebral conversation with a familial implication. A cerebral conversation with familial implications. We talking about family, baby. We talking about family. We talking about marriage. We talking about, who you spend the rest of your life with and how come. The person that you spend the rest of your life with and why. Why would you do this? Give a shout out to my people. You see T Carey right morning, noon, and night. It's always great to have my people. It's going directly into your site. Was good. And also SA. SA, is that like South America? Is that what that is? Sorry, I got a little bit of sugar from shaking up the tea. This is good tea, man. I added. This is good tea. I got this. Let me tell y'all what I got in this tea. Let me do ADHD. Let me finish the thought. All right, and also Michael Lola was good. He said, "Gay guy on drums." See, this is how you know that you're evolving. This is how you know you're evolving. See, there was a time I would try to go in on somebody like that, maybe even like get him on up out of here. But see, now I'm older and I'm wiser, and I realize that even though you're a dickhead, you contributing to my numbers. You know what I mean? And I understand you just need attention. You know what I'm saying? If you calling me gay, I mean, what would that make you? You probably have to be like a tranny or something. You know what I mean? You was probably putting Zest soap up your ass as a little boy and wondering why. Like, I think this is kind of cool. You know what I mean, playing with your sister's dolls and all of that kind of shit. I get it. I get it. I get it. See, I'm like, let me explain something to you without at the expense of sounding really arrogant. See, I'm a strong, positive black man with really, really good skin. I drink a lot of water. See, I drink a lot of water, you know, that kind of shit. And so I don't have like razor bumps, and I shape my own shit up. You know, like I'm handsome. I am. I may not be like the best looking motherfucker, you know, or everybody's choice, but I'm undisputedly handsome. Like I don't get called ugly. No one, nobody in my life has ever done that. You know, that means something to me. Not only that, I got a couple of dollars. I mean, I'm just saying. You know what I mean? You know, I rock real gold. You might say you're too old to rock real gold. I say, am I too old to buy it? Okay. The other thing is, like, cats like you can't move me. Like, I made my decisions. I am who I am. I think it's kind of dope. And also, Bob says, love it. That's what's up. TK Right said, hold on, what we got going on here? What we got? We getting crazy. We getting crazy. All right. Naturalista Rap, what's good? She said, feel free to stand. Jewel, I know what you were talking about. What's going on, Ma? Good to see me from you. I mean, good to see me some you. My bad. We good, though. We good. Buttercup 25 says, nice clap back. Hey, look, man, you can't stop these dickheads. It's all good, though. It's all good. Now, the tea. This tea has black seed in it. This tea has red clover extract in it. It has olive leaf in it. And what else? Mullein. Mullein is really good for your respiratory system. So for all of y'all that suffer from bronchitis and asthma and pneumonia, you know what I'm saying? Like, this will open up your the air passages in your lungs or whatever. Get the breathing right. Son. You know what I mean? You gotta get the breathing right. So what else is in here? I'm gonna make sure that's it. Oh no, I got motherfucking dandelion. It's just so y'all don't think I'm bullshitting. You know what I mean? I pull out everything for y'all. Niggas. Pull out everything. So look, this is what's in here. So we got the black seed. Boom, you see the black seeds down there? You know what I mean? It's time for me to re-up. Got the black seed. And I got the red clover extract. And I got the olive leaf. Let me show y'all what the olive leaf look like. Oh, and this is the mullein. You know what I'm saying? It's like a pound of weed in there. Let me show y'all what the olive leaf look like. I see that? Like, it looks like little sticks. But with all of that, it comes out brown. I got the raw honey in there. But this shit, you know, I drink the shit that kills bacteria and fights off viral infections and all of that kind of shit. You know why? Because we have to take our health into our own hands. We just can't be out here, you know, only going to the doctor when we feel sick and not really taking any kind of preventive measures, because we are on some real shit. We are all we got. We are all we got out here. We are all we got. So I drink this shit every day, and it keeps me right. I haven't been sick. I haven't had no cold symptoms or no, none of that shit this year. And the last time I was sick, I caught COVID last year for the first time. I caught COVID last year at like the end of the summer, some shit like that, and I felt some kind of way about that. I didn't have any COVID symptoms. I didn't have like a bad flu. Nonetheless, yeah, you gotta take your health regimen into your own hands. And that kind of segues into what we talking about with this whole marriage thing. When we talk about a casual relationship marriage, some people are there are people out here getting married just so they'll have somebody to take care of for the rest of their lives. And people are inviting them to do that. On social media, I'm on social media. So I see on social media with females putting up posts talking about, yeah, these men out here, they still want to play around. They're going to find themselves in their 70s. If they reach that 70s or 80s with nobody to take care of them, nobody to change their pampers, going to a nursing home and all of that. So I'm thinking that could influence people to get married. Like, would you do that? Would you marry somebody just because you have health issues and they might have nursing skills? You may not do it, but there are people out here who are doing that. We think about the word or the idea of an arranged marriage, and we're thinking about people's parents who have already decided who their children are going to marry in order to keep assets and traditions in the family. Well, there are different ways to arrange a marriage. And I think that the agreement between any man or any woman to get married is an arrangement in and of itself. And there are a lot of different kinds of arrangements that are going on out there. And we have to stay woke about that. We got to understand and respect the fact that everybody doesn't want to get married the way we want to get married. Like the poll question. Y'all see the poll question up here? We only up to 7 votes with it, but do you think that you could be in a marriage where you don't live in the same house? And most people said no. A couple of people said depends on the circumstances. I get it. Now, if we could go farther into it about what the circumstances may be that may warrant you not living with your partner, but you have to agree, regardless, that that's not the conventional or traditional type of way to get married or be married. Like, so y'all live in different houses just because one of y'all snore too loud. Like, yeah, not only do they snore a lot, but they hygiene and all of that. And I don't want to be in no dirty bed. So, when we have sex, I just make sure they wash up good, but they don't have the scheduling to wash up every day. Like, what are you talking about? But other than that, they have a lot of redeeming qualities. Like, I love her, I love him, I love her, I love him, I love her, I love him, I love her, I love her, I love him. Yo, yeah, I don't judge us. We is together. We just apart. Somebody might come up with some counter type of how do I want to say it? Some kind of comeback, like, well, when soldiers go off to war and they marry, they are away from their families for a long time. Football players are away from their families for a long time during the season. You ever been married to a head coach? You know what I'm saying? They never home. Kim's Wims is in the house. What's good? How you feeling? So we here, man. We are here and we are in motion. So yeah, casual relationship marriage. The kind of marriage that if you decide to exit the marriage, get out of the marriage, divorce out of the marriage, separate, You might look back on the marriage and think to yourself, like, what the fuck was I thinking? Why did I do that? Even though you know exactly why you did it. And that's whether you were the beneficiary of the marriage or you were the casualty. Whether you were the casualty of that marriage, the casualty, you know what the casualty of marriage is. That's the one that didn't get what they wanted. That's the one that's disgruntled. That's the one that's hating. That's the one that feels like they got the short end of the stick. That's the one that felt like they did everything in the marriage to keep it together. They tried to have the vacuum seal. They tried to put the vacuum seal on the marriage, and the other person just constantly let the air in and let the marriage get stale. They let it get stale. How many of y'all know about a marriage where, oh shit, I knew something was missing. I can't do this, y'all. I can't do this. I tasted the tea, and it tastes good, but it don't have enough lemon in it. I don't know about y'all, but I can't be drinking no tea that don't have a good amount of lemon in it. I need that citrus. I need that citrus type of joint. You know what I mean? Give me a little lemon slice. Give me a little lemon slice. You know what I'm saying? Get my shit together. I could drink it this way, but I don't wanna get my lemon squeeze up in there. Lemon squeeze. Oh, hold on. Let me let y'all see the tea bag. So this is the tea bag with all of this shit in it. You know, y'all can get this from y'all local herb store. I tried to get it at the local grocery store. They didn't have them. So, but at my herb store where they respect loose tea, you know. So you see that it's a sack. It's a sack of tea up in that joint. It's a sack of tea on up in there. And get my lemon. Get this thing together. Get it together. Lemon squeeze. Get the lemon squeeze. All right. Okay. Now we should be all right. I insist on shit tasting the way I want it to taste. I want to be healthy, but I'm not gonna do that at the extent of nasty food or drink. Then again, you know, whatever. But yeah, how many of y'all have ever heard of a marriage where the agreement is, you know, like you can see other people, but we need to inform each other of the other people that we're seeing to make sure everybody is straight, make sure that we don't, or okay, you can see other people that we agree upon and have fully disclosure about. But no babies. Don't bring home no babies. Now, for a middle-aged couple, you wouldn't think that having kids would be an issue. And they might not be for a woman. You know, after her eggs run out and she's going through menopause, you ain't got to worry about her bringing home no kids. Not no biological ones. You know, maybe she'll go and retrieve the other kids that she gave up for adoption when she was younger, if that's the case. Or if she had, adopted some kids and, foster kids, whatever. But you ain't got to worry about her coming home with a belly full of babies. You ain't got to worry about her having a belly full of babies. But with a man, he getting the middle age. He getting his late 40s. He turns 50, maybe even 60 years old. Older than that, on some Robert De Niro, Al Pacino shit. Having babies by a young John. Went to the strip club, came home with a baby. 2 of them. Having twins. Old ass. You know what I mean? But it's a consideration. So some marriages may have the stipulation that don't bring home no kids. We finished with all of that. We're done with all of that. And men are thinking like, all right, so let me get this straight. I can fuck whoever I want to fuck, but I got to let you meet them. And as long as I don't get them pregnant, or as long as they don't carry the baby to full term and have it, we good. You know, niggas be thinking like, all right, I'm gonna let her meet the chick on the books, but not the one off the books. But I ain't gonna bring home no babies. I don't want no babies. I mean, my oldest is 29 years old. You know what I mean? I had my first when I was like 14. Not me. Buttercup Muhammad says, I never want to look at my future husband and say in my head, who the F did I marry? I did that all through my first marriage. I really felt trapped. He wanted marriage for show only. Exactly what I'm talking about. Casual relationship marriage. A lot of people are like your ex-husband. They really only got married because they wanted to have that title. They wanted to say that they did it, or maybe they wanted to do it just once to say that they at least tried. Some people come from single parent families where they never got married, and it was sort of like a generational curse, and they wanted to fill that void in their lives. No, I did it. I went all the way through with marriage. And some people do it with a good heart and fight tooth and nail in order to keep their marriage, while the other person is shitting on them all day, all night. So it's not a good situation where one person is in a casual relationship marriage and the other person is in a traditional marriage. That's not a good look. But as we press on, what up, Crapshoot Deuce says, why are you slurping and gulping that juice like a kid? Because I could do what I want to. First of all, this tea is hot as shit. So all that slurping you talking about, unless I want a burnt throat and not be, or unless I don't want to taste anything for the rest of the day because my tongue is burning, I better sip. So I don't know what you heard, but you don't hear no gulping. Slurping maybe. Okay, that was a slurp. All right, it's cooling off a little bit. This is good. This is good now. I'm telling you, need that lemon. That's good. That's good. Good shit. Good shit. Yummy. I'm telling you, y'all, make this. Get those ingredients. Get those ingredients. I mean, and that's unisex. So whether it's going to help you with the male organs or the female organs. He said, listen to yourself when you review the video. All right, but it's not going to stop shit. Yo, I do this every day, son. You know what I mean? I do this every day. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What's your motivation? What's your motivation? I mean, you came here. What you trying to do here? What are you trying to do here? What are you trying to do here? But it's all good. Casual relationship marriage, untraditional, or should I say non-traditional, unconventional type of marriage. Now, let me ask y'all generally. Do you think that in a marriage between two people who agreed to get married, to go ahead and jump the broom, do you think that other people's influences, past, present, or future, should have any impact on your relationship? Or should I say your marriage? I hate to call a marriage a relationship. I've heard people call their marriage a relationship. And every time I hear somebody do that, I be thinking like, there probably are question marks in that union. You know what I mean? Somebody is thinking that this marriage ain't worth the paper that it was written on. Crapshoot Deuce says, yeah, I see the 50 views a day after 15 years. Oh, you're wrong, sir. You're wrong. Oh. But let's say you were right. Let's say that you were right. Let's say I only had 50 views a day after 15 years. Let's say you were right. What does that have to do with you? But let's see. Let's just go through the numbers. Let's just go through the numbers. Now, let's see. Y'all can y'all see the numbers? Last night's show says 635. The night before 503. The night before 305. The night before 301. The night before 969. 232, 218, 309, 319, 224, 362, 272, 260, 366, 434, 1,000, 418, 725, 2.6 thousand. See the 2.6 right here. Right here. I'm only doing this for your pleasure. You know what I mean? 200, 474, 252, 267, 291, 401, 1,100, 182, 164, 209, 250. I'm just saying 1,000, 290, 1,000. Now, understand this, little bitch ass nigga. I'm proud of myself and what I do, regardless of the numbers. But if you're going to call out what kind of numbers I'm doing after 15 years, just get it right. Because this is easily verified. You know what? Satisfy yourself. You're on the channel. Just go ahead and click under my videos and see what the numbers are. You're not going to see no 50 nowhere. Not in the past 2 years. You're not going to see no 50. But don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. It ain't where you start, it's where you finish. And you know where else it is where you continue. And we continue right here. So whether you like it or not, whether you care or not, I don't really give a fuck. And guess what? You are here adding to the 50 views. And you ain't going nowhere either. Because now I got your attention. So, I mean, it is what it is. Oh, no. Don't start capitulating now. He said numbers are still low. Numbers are still low for someone that's been on that long. You said still doing 50 views a show. So I showed you clearly that there's growth, there's movement, and there's still, like last summer, we couldn't do under 2,000 a night. So, what is it? The numbers are still low. What are your numbers? What are you doing? You don't have a picture on your on your profile, which is fine. But so you've been following this show, or all of these years. So evidently you know what it is. If you talk about 50 views a show every day. So what the fuck? You know what I mean? When I show you that you dead wrong, now you want to be like, oh, but the numbers are still low for somebody doing it that long. But guess what? I get paid. I'm not doing this show for free. I get paid. And you're helping me to do that. So what are we talking about? Say, relax, bro. Continue. No, fuck you. No, ain't no relax. You don't tell me to relax. You know what I mean? You came in here. You wanted to, have your say. Matter of fact, why don't you do this, you old bitch ass nigga? Why don't you call into the show? The number is there for a reason. Since you've been following this show for 15 years, you know the number, and you know that the number has changed. So call the number 267-874-1949. We can have this conversation for real. Because if you followed me for 15 years, you know I don't bitch. You know ain't no coward shit going on over here. Call the number. Call the number. You old bitch ass nigga, call the number. You know what I mean? Stick your chest out for real. You ain't gonna call that number because you a bitch. Say now we at the bar laughing at you you ain't at no fucking bar. You know what I mean? You ain't at no fucking bar. You in your little one bedroom apartment and shit. You know what I mean? Probably not getting no money, not doing nothing. You know, probably ain't had your dick sucked since like the late 90s or some shit like that. You know, some shit like that. Probably ain't pleased a woman since you helped her across the street. You know, that type shit. That's you. That's not me. Emily Dunlap is in the house. Bows, you're about to turn it out. And my big sis, Medita McGuy, what's good? How you feeling? You talking about some on Hunting Park? Get the fuck out of here. You ain't on no Hunting Park. You ain't nowhere. You not nowhere where you think you at a bar at 2:19 in the afternoon? Yeah. Okay. Well, how much fun are you having at the bar when you watching my show? Somebody show me where that makes sense. So you at a bar talking about we are laughing at you. So let me get this straight. At a bar on Hunting Park Avenue, y'all not having enough fun drinking, eating, socializing, chilling, talking dumb shit. Y'all have to watch my show because you said we. You said we, right? Okay, good. I'm glad that in a local bar in North Philly that my show is doing mad numbers. Tell them to subscribe to the channel, bitch ass nigga. I said you on the big screen and we watching you get triggered. Okay. What's the name of the place? Tell you what I do. If you tell me the name of the place, I'll come around there. You know I live close. Tell you what, I will take this phone off of the holder and come around there. What's the name of the place? Because I know what places are there. What's the name of the place? We have some fun today. We'll have some fun today. What's the name of the place, sir? What we got? What we got? Just let me know. Because we can make this happen across from Lou and Choose. No, what's the name of the place, bitch? You know what I mean? You're not at Lou and Choose. Say the name. Give them some advertising. Say it. I know what bar is across the street from Lou and Choose. Say it. On the screen, you lame. Walt's Bar. Yeah, that's what it's called. Say the real name. Give him some shine. No, give him some. Say the real name. The whole name. Anyway, so this is what we gonna do. Oh, it's pronounced Mac Guy? My bad. Dita Mac Guy. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking it's Mick Guy. It's Mac Guy. Oh. All right. Oh. Okay. TK, right, says dandelion root is the best. Bob says oregano oil. Oh yeah, I fucks with that oregano oil. Oregano oil only if you can handle not throwing up. Insane benefits for the sinus. Disgusting oil. I have it hidden as far away from the cabinet. Hold on. Yeah, I fucks with some oregano oil on a regular basis. Now, the last time I went to the store, I got the pills. Last time I got the pills. But I use this on a regular basis, and you right. You know what I'm saying? That shit. It's like taking drops of horseradish. It's like taking drops of horseradish. Hold on, crap shoot. You said come on the waltz though. No, give me your name. I'll come. Give me your name though, because I'm not going in there like, who the fuck is crap shoot Deuce? Mm-mm. Give me your name. You know mine. You said goggling what? Nigga, he knows where waltz is. Everybody in Philly knows where it is. Now he needs the. He can't spell Googling. He can't spell Google. Shahid? That's your name? Yeah? Okay. Tell you what. I got you. That's your name. Shahid. First he spells it with the first name capital, then he spelled it with all letters capital. Okay. Got you. And my show is up on the big screen, and they going for that in Waltz? Waltz Devil's Island? Waltz Devil's Island, it's up on the big screen? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Let me see. Okay. Yep, having a beer and laughing at you. Okay. All right. Hold on. Yeah, I got you. I got you, sir. I definitely got you. All right. So with the whole marriage thing. So in a marriage where somebody may be in a non-conventional, unconventional or non-traditional marriage. So living with somebody or just getting married to somebody just for the title of the show, just for business reasons. A lot of people, especially a lot of middle-aged people, are talking about marriage being a business. Marriage is a business. Now, in my opinion, people are saying like that. People saying things like that because they haven't been able to find love. Okay. Hold. So people get married for all kinds of crazy reasons. But when two people agree on what they get married for, it really isn't anybody's business. But when you're talking about a casual relationship marriage, you're talking about a marriage where one person or both people in the marriage probably aren't married in order to like really be married. All right, for my middle-aged people who are considering marriage or have been married, what would you say is the general reason, whether for yourself or for anybody else? What would you say the general reason is for getting married in middle age? Excuse me, where you might be on your second marriage or your third marriage or whatever. What would be the general reason? When you're younger, you get married because you want to start a family, you want to build wealth, you want to grow old with somebody. Hopefully, you're in love and you wanted to get married for that reason. So how does that work? When you're older, you already have kids that are older, graduated high school, maybe are already living their lives, and they have children too. So you may already have grandchildren and whatever. This is let me see. All right. Okay. So listen, I mean, this ain't gonna go on but for so long. I mean, it was a little. It was a little. I'm bringing back the. He had to go. All right. Kim's Whim says, "Geez, I get on a call with marriage as the last thing I heard, and come back with what the fuck." It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. All right. Emily says, "Sit back, crap shit. Sit back and enjoy your beer and the show, because this particular show is not your show, and we will watch you when you get one." You know, let me tell y'all something. You don't always have to get far in life to know that you've gotten somewhere in life. You don't always have to get far in life in order to know that you've gotten somewhere in life. I hate to say that people who hate on you validate whatever it is that you're doing, because I don't really believe that. I believe that the people who support you, the people who love you, the people who promote you, the people who advocate for you, the people who pray and wish and hope for your success, those are the people who make you a somebody. But when somebody says to you that you ain't shit, but they watching your every move, what do we have? What do we have? Now, on some real shit, if that's somebody who lives around here, so he may know my face or whatever, but that ain't nobody who know me. I don't get disrespected. But I'm thinking, like, if I go down to that bar, it ain't gonna be on. Imagine I know the place he talking about. It's an old head place. Lou and Choose is on this side of the street. Walt's Devil's Island is on this side of the street. Walt Devil's Island is the cool place. Lou and Choose is where sometimes the young people go, whatever. You know, they sell seafood and it gets a little wild at Lou and Choose. People who just want to have their drinks, have a good time, have camaraderie with people that they've known for years and years. They go to Walt's. Ain't no way you pulling that up. And no bar in the world is going to pull up a show, let you pull up a show on Bluetooth and watch it in the bar. I know that. He knows that. He's not there, especially in that place. There's no way that's going to happen. So, you know, I could go down there, but it's going to be like, I'm going there and be like, Shaheed there? Like, nigga, you want a screwdriver? You know what I mean? Vodka and cranberry, vodka and orange juice. It is what it is. It is what it is. I should have called and asked to speak to him. I ain't been inside. I stopped drinking in 2012. I ain't been inside of a bar outside of it, like outside of like if somebody has a party, a birthday party or something like that. Other than that, what am I doing at a bar? $3 is a lot of money to spend for a little glass of soda. You know what I mean? And that's just not my thing. Maritza Allbird, what's good? I saw you creeping in between the comments right there. And also Stacy White, what's good, Stacy? All right. But we're talking about conventional. We're talking about casual relationship marriage. Now, When one person is in a casual relationship marriage and the other one isn't, that's the real problem. And I imagine that there are plenty of ways where where a marriage can start off one way and then end up another way, or the beginning and the end are what they are, but the middle is normally the biggest part in a marriage. Unless you get into a marriage, you realize that you made a mistake, and from the beginning of the marriage, it starts the end of the marriage. Do y'all understand what I'm talking about when I say that? Imagine getting into a marriage that starts in the beginning. It starts to end in the beginning. It starts to end in the beginning. Starts to end in the beginning. That's when you know that you've probably made the biggest mistake of your life. T. Carey Wright says, I wouldn't marry anyone who I wouldn't enjoy being around. You know, that makes so much sense. But people get in relationships with people that they really don't want to be around. People get into regular relationships with people that they may be physically attracted to them or financially attracted to them. Wink, wink. But do they really, really want to be around them? When you think about what it takes to like to be around somebody. And this is probably a good exercise for anybody who is in a relationship or thinking about getting into one or has just gotten out of one. What does it take for you personally to enjoy being around somebody? And let's not discount the word enjoy. Enjoy being around somebody. Do you understand what I'm talking about? When you enjoy being around, like liking to be around somebody and enjoy being around somebody are two different things that sound like or seem like the same thing. Think about the things you like versus the things you enjoy. When you like something, it's like, oh, you know what? That's cool over there. Yeah, I can see why people would do that. Or, you know, I mean, that's a nice thing. You may admire it from afar. Normally, the things that you enjoy, you engulf yourself into it. You engross yourself in it. You delve into it. You dig yourself into it. Like it's something that is a part of you. Like you might like beef. Like I like beef. I like beef, you know, hamburgers, steaks, roasts, sandwiches, whatever. But you may enjoy eating a nice big juicy sirloin or porterhouse or something like that, prime rib, whatever. Like you enjoy it. Like I enjoy going out to eat. I like the restaurant, but I enjoy going there. The atmosphere, the ambiance, the servers. Like this is my spot. You might like your house, but do you enjoy being home? You like your house, like it's nice. I keep it clean. You know what I mean? I have nice furniture. You know, I can pay the mortgage. I like it. But do you enjoy being home? Enjoy being home like, yo, I'm at the crib and you know what I'm saying? Like I can do whatever I want to here. The rest of the world is what it is when I'm in here. The rest of the world is out there. I'm in here. Like, so my house is exactly the way that I like it to be. The furniture, my chair is pretty much memory foam to my body. You know, my kids, I like, you know, being with my kids, my wife, my spouse, whatever. You know, like this, I enjoy being home. You can like your house and not really enjoy being there. Maybe it's lonely. Maybe the company in your house ain't, you know, maybe it's too expensive. There's certain things that can happen to to limit or stop you from enjoying your house or your home or being home. It can ruin an experience. So when you talk about enjoying being with the person that you're with, can you talk to them? Can you relate to them? Do y'all have an understanding of each other? Do y'all respect each other's needs? Do y'all understand what each other wants? Do you really, really look forward to being with each other when y'all are apart? Because that lets you know if you enjoy being with somebody. You can like somebody, but not really enjoy being with them. I have friends like that. Like, yeah, I like him. He's a good person. Or she's a good person. Like they cool. What? Yeah. Yeah.
You have a call from.
Caller with the last number is 8367. Welcome to the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. What's on your mind this afternoon? What's good?
Well, I was calling in because I have a lot of experience on the subject.
Really now?
Mm-hmm.
Well, speak on it, goddess.
Okay, well, I think a lot of people get married for a lot of different reasons. And the poll that you were asking about, I think it depends on. To me, it depends on the couple and what they agree upon. Because I think couples can exist and they can thrive by not living together. They can thrive by not, living in the same state or, seeing each other like every other month or something. In fact, I would recommend it for some couples.
Okay. Now, why would that be a necessary situation?
Maybe financial. Maybe maybe they got married and they were living together, and somebody got a job, and both of the couple wasn't able to live together. Maybe they had to do it. They had to live remotely, or how do I say that? Like maybe let's say if I got a job in another state and we were already settled in this state,
mm-hmm.
And maybe the job wasn't going to be for very long. Maybe it was contractual or something. Maybe you might, instead of moving everybody, like the house, the kids, and all of that stuff. You might just say, well, let's just do, I'll come home every month or twice a month or something like that. Whatever works.
Well, let me ask you this. Would you consider that?
Mm-hmm.
Would you consider that living apart, or would you consider that to just be separated for? Okay, when I think about living in separate homes, I mean like we don't live together. Period. Like I'm just because I don't want to uproot my family or whatever. That I still live with my family. You know what I mean? Like I may have a place wherever my job is, but I live at home. My primary address is where my family is, where my spouse is. So that's a little bit different.
Well, what if you had two houses?
That's what I'm saying. Like what I was asking about with the poll is like, could you be married but totally live in separate homes? Like, no, I don't live with my spouse. I live where I live and they live where they live. So we're sort of like, because remember the title of the show is Casual Relationship Marriage. So, like I can have company at my house. and it ain't going to be my spouse. They can have company at their house, and it ain't going to be me all the time. Maybe sometimes it is me. Like, okay, basically, when I go to my spouse's house, I'm spending the night there. I'm not at home. I'm spending the night. I'm spending the night.
If that's your spouse and you're going to visit your spouse and spending the night, then you have two homes. Because if you're married, that's the way it is. You can call it what you want, but that's they have two homes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would call that.
Well, what would be the purpose of that though? Like, because you can have that exact same situation in an unmarried with an unmarried couple.
Yeah, you can do that, and you can have the same situation if you're not married.
Right. So why get married? Why go through the whole thing? Why get the marriage license? Why sign on a dotted line? Why make yourself liable for the other person? I mean, just so they can have an emergency contact, or like, what's the deal?
Maybe they just want it to be that way.
Well, I mean, marriage is not something that I think should be played around with, because there are deep implications. Like, I've seen things, you've seen things. We know of situations where couples who were unmarried, they may have been together 30, 40 years, but they never got married. And then when one of them died, the other one couldn't collect their assets, or they couldn't even handle their medical business, their medical affairs, because they weren't married. And maybe one of them was actually married. You know what I'm saying?
I think you if you wanted to work, depending on whatever the situation is, you will make it work. And there are a lot of non-traditional marriages. One, like I was watching The View. Was it The View? And like Shirley Ralph, she doesn't live with her husband. You know Shirley Ralph, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't live with her husband, but she said he lives one place and she lives another place, and she said, once a month or twice a month or once every 3 months or whatever, they get together, and she said it really works, and she said she's happy. So, it's non-traditional, but it works for them.
All right, let's talk for a second about what traditional marriage is, because
traditional marriage is just this, Omar. When you get married, you live together, you sleep together. You're a couple in every sense of the word. But more and more today, it's just not like that with a lot of couples. And you've got so many different kinds of marriages now, But I think, like I said, if you want it to work, it can work. Like in my case, I'm not home. I don't sleep in my own bed, but maybe twice a week. And that's because I work nights, and then I help my mother on the weekends. And I'm here in Philly, and I live in Delaware.
Okay. But no, what I meant by let's take a look at what traditional marriage is, because living in America, we have a certain idea of what the traditional marriage is from an American perspective. So when we think about a traditional marriage, we're normally thinking about a marriage between a man and a woman, where they're totally committed to each other, and they build a family, they live the American dream. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's no infidelity or whatever. I mean, they may have to deal with infidelity.
Can I stop you for a minute? No,
Mm-hmm.
you're saying married couples in America. But
Well,
then again, Omar, you have people that live out in Utah that have 4 and 5 wives and stuff. You
yeah,
have
those are Mormons. Those aren't.
yeah, the Mormons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, my point was this.
but it's still America.
Yeah, but my point was this. I'm not saying what a traditional marriage is. I'm saying that we probably have to look at traditional marriage from other standpoints before we start
Right,
talking about
right. I agree with that.
what's
I,
conventional and what's traditional.
mhm.
You understand what I mean?
Right.
Like
Hmm.
in parts of Africa,
Right.
Europe, Asia, and all of that, marriage isn't like when you see Asian couples married, they they don't give you the same image, and I'm talking about Oriental Asians. You know what I'm saying? Same
Hmm.
thing with
Hmm.
Indian couples. They may not
Hmm.
give you the same look at of what American traditional marriage looks like. So when we say
Hmm.
non-traditional, I'm talking about more of something that bucks the trend of all what traditional marriages may be like. Because on most traditional marriages that I know about, they live together. That's just most traditional marriages anywhere in the world. And most traditional marriages are built on the foundation of trying to start a family
Hmm. Hmm.
normally when they're younger. Now, because we're middle aged and getting
Hmm.
older, our motivation to get married may be different than what it was 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Right.
And the way that we looked at it when we were 8, 9 years old,
Hmm.
teenagers, and in our earlier 20s may be a lot different in the things that we may have rejected or accepted back then may be a lot different now. You understand what I'm
Hmm.
saying? We're like
Yeah, for sure.
we've learned a
I
lot,
mean, you.
experienced a lot, seen a lot. So
Hmm.
our meaning and theory of tradition may have changed a lot. So that's why I wanted. That's why I wanted. I wasn't saying that. I wasn't saying what traditional marriage is. I was giving an example of what we may be exposed to as far as what traditional marriage is. And a lot of people in the United States don't know or care about traditional marriages anywhere else in the world. They are satisfied with what they have here. You know, the marriage vows, the say I do, the you understand what I'm saying? They may be only looking
Hmm.
at it from a Christian perspective, many of us,
Right.
so
Right.
we have to open it up a little bit to see what we're working with now. now now Whether we agree or not, I'm like I said, for me, if I'm able to see other people and I live in another place, then I am who I am now,
Hmm.
unmarried,
Hmm.
legally single. Why would
Hmm.
I get married to do the same thing? It would be like having a car that you want without a car note, but going ahead and paying one. Like, all right, I got a 2025 Benz,
Hmm.
fully
Well,
paid
well,
for,
hopefully,
but I'm going to
well,
go get a
hmm
2025 Benz to pay for. Like, I'm just trying to figure out how, what the motivation is. Because I'm of the belief that everything has a reason for it, everything has a motivation. And once you identify the motivation, then you can start to understand it a little bit more. Maybe you can accept it a little bit more, whether it's for yourself or maybe for somebody else. Have you ever been with somebody that does something? You may love this person, been in love with them, whatever, but they did something to you that didn't make no fucking sense. And when they tried to
hmm
explain it to you, it didn't make no fucking sense.
hmm
You know what I mean? So you just had to accept it without it making no fucking sense, which means you
hmm
never really accepted it because they couldn't explain it. It's like, okay, so you went to school for a medical, to become a doctor, and you have a medical license,
hmm
but you want to be a manager at Family Dollar? Like, huh? You know, what did you go to school all those years for? You know what I mean? And that's an extreme example, and maybe it doesn't fit here, but
it happens.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it happens. But sometimes you do something and you just realize that that's not what you wanted. But if you go into a marriage knowing that this is the way, you both agree that that's what you want, no one can really say anything to you about it.
Well, it's not about whether anybody says anything.
It's not supposed to. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to make sense to anyone else.
But does it make sense to you? You know what I mean?
Yeah. If I go into it with both eyes open, yeah.
Think about what I just asked you. Because people get married some people just get married because they wanted to be married. Some people get married because they tired of being lonely. And then they get into a marriage where they lonely again. So, or they was tired of being lonely. They was tired of being by themselves. They was tired of all the other friends, being married and seeming like they were, whether they were happy or not, they was together. They had something that you wanted and maybe that you had before. So you traded your loneliness for unhappiness.
Mm-hmm.
It happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so you're not always on every marriage that happens isn't because the two of them were on the same page. A lot of times one is thinking one thing, like maybe one person is thinking lifetime of companionship altogether, and the other one is thinking I'm gonna finally get my car paid off.
Right. Well, that's deceit. That's deceit.
Some people sign up for deceit, or it's not really deceit if you know. I mean, all these niggas out here tricking.
And then some people are really genuinely deceived. They think, they get married thinking a person is one way, and then they find out that this person was full of shit.
How long do you have to be with somebody to know whether they full of shit or not?
Normally not long.
Well, probably in the first 90 days of your marriage. you might not have known them last year. You might not have known them last year. But real shit. The thing is, you got a lot of men out here. Sometimes sugar daddies make a real go of it. So they tell the chick, like, listen, you can have whatever you want. You need somebody to help raise these kids you got. You need some structure. You know what I mean? Let me put you in a nice home. Let me put you in a nice car. Let me make sure you have money to shop, that you got a good roof over your head, food on the table, and good shoes on your feet, and a rock on your finger. Let me do that for you. I know you don't love me, but I love you, and you'll grow to love me as long as we respect each other. That's not deceit. Now, he may have said all of that to her, but after a while, he figured, since I'm paying for everything, I ain't gotta be loyal. I ain't gotta be faithful. I built this thing. I put it together. So if I want to get some pussy, or if I want to bring another child into the game, I mean, you can be mad, but what you really mad for? You didn't love me anyway. You said it. I said I loved you. You said that you didn't really want to marry me because you didn't love me, but I talked you into it financially. So all right, so it's not so if it's infidelity in a relationship, I mean, how can you be mad at me? You don't love me anyway. I'm just laying up with somebody who loved me a little bit. So I mean, when we talk about casual relationship marriage, these are some of the ways that it can play out that way. These are some of the ways that it can play out that way. And, you find yourself in a situation that you never considered yourself to be in, but you kind of signed up for it. So there's no deception there. You signed up for the money. I signed up for the love. You signed up for the money. You got the money. I didn't get the love. So, I mean, what you mad at me for? You don't like fucking me anyway. I damn near gotta hit your cash app. How we in the same house? I gotta hit your cash app. You know what I'm saying? Well, and once again, those extreme things. But I don't really think that people go in head first into situations all the time where one person doesn't know exactly what's going on or where the expectations are totally different. It does happen, but if we're talking about a casual relationship marriage, we're not talking about a situation where two people are in the dark. They know what they're working with. They signed up for this. My question is, why did they sign up for it? Because they could have had it without the paper, without the state being involved, without having to split assets if we should want to call it quits for good. Like, what's the point? That's all. Yeah, that's all I'm asking. So, like you were saying, with your situation, sleeping in separate beds or whatever. I mean, there are things that can.
Say separate beds.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
my. Well, if you only.
But even I was saying that in my situation, I'm not home.
Okay, but you are in a separate bed if you ain't home, right?
I guess.
Okay, I'm just saying, it ain't the same bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless what y'all do, like call each other or FaceTime each other, like, all right, move over. We gonna do cyber sleep. But anyway,
you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean. I know what you mean, and I'm saying. But the thing is, yeah, my only thing is, if you're playing like, if you're acting out a situation like you're single but you're married, I just don't understand what's the motivation. And I'm not saying that I'm right about it. I can be skeptical about anything, just the same way that anybody else can be sure about what they want or how their situation are. But I know what it's like to be in a situation where I may not be totally unhappy, but I'm more unhappy than happy. Maybe I'm 40% happy, 60% unhappy. That's not good enough for me. It's not good enough for me, but I, from what I see, a lot of people are putting up with that.
Yeah, a lot of people put up with a lot of stuff. And I mean for many, many, many years, and they couples end up, staying together for, half a century or more, half centuries or more,
Yeah.
Because I guess maybe sometimes you just get comfortable in whatever situation you're in. You become, I guess you can call that complacency.
Well, do you think that people, if you go into a situation comfortable and it plays out the way that y'all planned it, like neither one of y'all needs changed and y'all pretty much stuck to the script, I don't have a problem with it, and you probably shouldn't have a problem with it either. My question is, did you go into the situation happy? Because it sounds good, but when you talk to a lot of people, you find out like they had mad red flags going in. They was basically hoping for the best, baby. It was like playing the stock market. Like, yo, man, I hope this shit, somebody shares. I hope the company grow. People, a lot of people have gone into marriages like that. I know a lot of marriages where people got married after a bad bout with infidelity. She cheated on me, I cheated on her, whatever. And you know what I mean? The compensation was, all right, we get married. On some real shit. Oh, I just had a baby outside of the relationship. Let's get married.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Did it work in the end?
No.
Are they still?
I mean, did it work? Okay. All right. Who am I to say that something didn't work in the end? I ain't gonna lie. To take.
Yeah.
I hate to go by just the results of a relationship to sum up everything that happened. You know what I mean? Like it's not my job, or I think it's irresponsible for me to be like, well, you got divorced. That means your marriage was a failure. I don't think that way. Because I'm like,
Okay.
what happened along the way? Were there times where y'all were really happy with each other? Were there times when y'all were very cooperative with each other? Were there times when you were tolerant of each other? And just somewhere along the way things broke down? You can't totally say that something was a failure just because it didn't work out the way that you wanted to. A lot of people do this. Like I've heard a lot of people, mainly women. I ain't gonna lie, mainly women. I've heard say this. Like they were in a relationship with a dude for a long time, and he didn't marry her, and she like, the whole thing was a waste. I wasted 5 years of my life. Like, so if 5 years of your life, all you did was wait to get married. I mean, did you go to work? Did you have a nice meal? Did you go anywhere? You know what I mean? Did you laugh at? Did you laugh at a comedian? You know what I mean? Did somebody tickle you? Did you take a bath? Did you get a massage? Did you have a nice drink? You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of people look at things that way, like, oh, because I didn't get what I wanted, or because it happened the way that I thought that it should happen, I wasted all these years of my life. No, you spent those years of your life. You had you that if I have $5 million in 2025, and then in 2030, for example, I only have 500,000. You can say, damn man, you blew $4.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
You can say that,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not taking into consideration that I had to live during that time. Maybe the problem was I didn't build a business to replenish the money that got spent. I'm sorry, the money that got spent. But I know goddamn well if I ran through $4.5 million in 5 years, I had some fun along the way.
That's what I'm saying. And that's like, your childhood. Would you take back your childhood? All the fun, all the vacations, and time, friends that you met along the way? No.
I don't know. You know what I mean? When I think about my childhood, let me just say this. And I wasn't one of those people that couldn't wait to be an adult. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't like I didn't experience a lot of things, see a lot of things. I mean, things could have been better. I mean, would I trade the relationships that I had? No, not necessarily. But, I would have liked to have been in a better space. Let me just put it that way. It wasn't all cookies and it wasn't all peaches and cream growing up. I mean, a lot of people romanticize, growing up and shit like that. I mean, like I hear a lot of people say, when I was younger, before we had kids and all this stuff, I just did whatever I wanted to do. I was happy. I was blah blah blah. And I'm like, but come on now. You know what I mean? You might have had pimples. And you forgot that you was hiding your pimples and shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, shit like that. Sometimes we look back on things times that have passed, and we sort of make them a little bit better than they actually were in real time. Now, I wholeheartedly believe that things turn out the way that they're supposed to turn out. You learn the lessons that you're supposed to learn. I don't have any problem with that. But that's not to say that in the time that you're here now, you have all of those experiences and time things that you've learned to get you here. Now, what are you going to do with what you've learned? What are you going to do? Are you gonna like your naivete may have gotten you into bad relationships, bad marriages, bad situations, bad jobs, bad everything when you were younger. Now you don't have that. You don't have that naivete anymore. You lived that life. You had to climb out of those holes that you dug for yourself. But you mean to tell me that you're going to go head first into a situation? You're going to basically gamble and put yourself right back into those situations after you've learned. What's the point? What was the point in you learning? But we talking about casual relationship marriages. It may work for some people. I'm just trying to figure out how it works. What do you think about swingers? Because to me, that's kind of like what that is.
No. I don't condone that shit at all. No, I'm not. You know. No, that's a no. That's a no. Even Dr. Ruth said that.
Okay. Did she?
I ain't nobody into my bedroom. Hell no. That's when you know that shit's over.
Yeah, well, some people. Let me just say this. I've never known swingers that didn't stand up tall for swinging. Let them tell it. Swinging, polyamorous relationships, polygamy, and all that. They say it's the shit, especially polygamous. Like sometimes it's hard for swingers to convince people that them fucking other people is actually helping them stay together. But polygamists, they be like, this eliminates cheating. It eliminates misunderstanding. It helps the children to be able to grow. Now you are raising children in a somewhat non-traditional way, non-conventional way. They might have 3 mothers and 1 dad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like who shows up at parent teachers meetings versus soccer practice?
Well, yeah, when I stuff like that, I don't know anyone personally who is a polygamist, but I do know, I know of people who are in like the Muslim community. They call it it's communal or something.
It's polygamy.
It's polygamy, but
it's polygamy.
Yeah, okay, and that's what they do. And I think a lot of that's their thing. That's their thing. I can't. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. So well, for the Muslims, for the Mormons, for the whoever, for the Hebrew Israelites, they consider that to be traditional marriage, and they insist that it works. Of course, they can't legally marry all of those people by American laws and standards. They can't do that. So they believe that through God has sanctioned for that situation to be what it is. And the way that it's supposed to be is each wife has to receive the same benefits, the same material items. Like everything has to be agreed upon and equal. You can't have a favorite wife. You have to treat them equally. You have to feel about them equally. Now, who the fuck knows how you feel inside for real? And who's gonna police your polygamous marriage?
Hey, listen to this. I knew a boy, right, who was and his first marriage. Now he's Muslim, and when I first met this person, he didn't tell me right away, like his situation, that he was a Muslim person. And he got married, and he married a Muslim woman, And he told me that, you know, through all their trials and tribulations. Now, I think she grew up in a communal society. So when he met her, you know, she was Muslim and she had been raised that way, you know. And she said, you know, that she looked forward to the time when he picked another wife. And I'm thinking to myself, who does that? You know, because normally, you know, if you when you're in a marriage, you want your husband, you want your spouse to yourself. You don't really want to share. But then I had to think, okay, this is the way she was raised. And so I don't know what their sex life was like, but when he told me that, you know, she was like, well, you know, after I think like the 7th year or something like that, you know, she wanted him to get another wife.
Why's that?
How am I? I'm sorry. Oh, I gotta go.
You gotta go?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for calling in. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Thanks for the dialogue. It was very, very enlightening and extremely interesting. Good stuff.
Okay. All right.
Have the best day. Well. Good stuff. Good stuff. I believe. Okay. Casual relationship marriage. Casual relationships marriage. What do y'all know? Okay, hold on. Let's look at the poll results so far. If I can find my cursor. There we go. Find my cursor. All right. Out of 21 votes, we have the 21 votes. Do you think you could be in a marriage where you don't live in the same house? 52% said no, it does not make sense. 19% says yes, that would work for me. Excuse me. 14% says depends on the circumstances. And 14% says whatever married people agree on is up to them. It wouldn't give me enough characters to say is up to them. So I just had to stop at whatever married people agree on. And I think y'all understood that. And if you didn't, now you do. Casual relationships. What's up, Stacey White? What's going on, my man? Seika Sala. Tron Optimus Prime. Make sure I get everybody. You know what I mean? By Dimples D's in the house. Maritza Allberg. What's good, y'all? KB. Thanks for coming through and congratulations to you. You did it, huh? We did it, Brooklyn. We did it. We did it, Brooklyn. Stacey White says, who divorced a wife and they don't even know it? I don't know. I cannot see myself one man and 5 women on one man. Yeah, I mean, that ain't for everybody. Unfortunately, even the people that I know who do it, it's not really for them either. Listen, hey, man, you know, some things you might accept for spiritual reasons, for cultural reasons, for personal reasons. That doesn't necessarily mean that you like it. You can accept something and not like it. I mean, you can accept that a person snores loud and not like it. You can accept that a person has stinky feet and not like it. You know, bad breath. Halitosis. Your halitosis is when your breath smell like feet. That's the toe part. Halitosis. That's a female who breath smell like feet. Yo, holla You holla toes, sis. Holla toes, sis. Holla, 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 holla. All right, man. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. But yeah, okay. Yeah, by this poll, and it was 21 people, no disrespect, but 21 people is pretty much a small sample size, but it does. Oh, my man, my brother from another mother, Norris Hill. I know I saw him in there somewhere. My brother from another mother, Norris Hill. Sit back, relax, do your thing, Max, and chill. Didn't I see him? I could have sworn I seen. Yeah, there you go. In Hill. What's good? What's good? But yeah. Holla, 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 toes, sis. Yo, say it that way. You ever kissed anybody who had bad breath? Now, before you go asking, well, why would you kiss them if they had bad breath? Because you had to kiss them. All right? That's it. Because you had to kiss them. It was time to kiss. There's a time, there's a time to speak, and then there's a time to kiss. All right? You know, so before y'all start getting all judgmental and start, getting on your high horse. Why did you kiss them and they had bad breath? Because it was time to kiss. Well, why'd you kiss them again? Because the time came up again. I offered them a mint. They refused and I still kissed them anyway. Hey, they don't brush their teeth each and every day, but I kissed them anyway. Hey, with my tongue in their mouth, I can feel the plaque. I kissed them anyway. Hey, yeah, you can judge me if all you want any day. Kiss them anyway. Why would you kiss the halitosis on the mouth while I kiss the anyway? Hey. Yo, her shit smelled like dumpster juice, but kiss the anyway. Hey. It was time to kiss. Yo, fucked it up and put my tongue all up in this. Yo, it was a bad situation. But everything else was kind of good, but that shit smelled like a hood. And I'm talking about the hood of a car where you got bad oil. Yo, you're getting foiled. It's a bad situation. Yo, or when the breath smells like menstruation. I ain't saying every menstruation smells bad, but it ain't kind of shit that you be into. It's bad. Puerto Vallarta was good. Anyway, y'all know damn well that y'all kissed somebody in your life and they breath stunk. And you thought first it was a one-off. And then you realized that you are messing around with somebody that got the bad breath, bad. A lot of y'all weed smokers, man, breath don't be right. And it ain't the weed. A lot of y'all cigarette smokers, y'all teeth be looking like project windows, and it ain't because of the smoke. Looking out of my project windows. Anyway, shout out to all y'all yuck mouths with the teeth looking like project windows. Some of the windows broke. Some of the teeth broke. Some of the windows up. Some of them down. You know what I mean? You ever mess with some? You know somebody who got like the short tooth in the front and the other long tooth. Like what happened to the rest of your tooth? What happened to the rest of your tooth? Wait, we have a call on the line. We got a caller.
You have a call from
Caller with the last numbers 9843. Welcome to the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. Thank you for calling. What's on your mind this afternoon? What's good?
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, son. I was just, listening to the chat, listening to everything and reading the chat. I'll be quick. Um, Being married and living apart, I guess it does work for some people. But when you're married, and I mean, when you're truly, well, I was together with my husband for a year before, he asked my mother and father just for my hand in marriage. Even though we were kids, but we grew,
Hmm.
And I'm trying to figure out how do you do that if, especially, if you're truly in love as we were, and have children. How do you live apart like that? Um, we was apart, let's say for 2 months in our marriage, and that's when he went to Kansas City to set up a place to come back and get me and the baby. Okay, at that time we had teenage kids, so they was able to take care of the home. But I just don't understand that, and no, I can't see. Well, I get, I was with my husband for over 40 years. I stayed with him even though he did hurt me. Um, and I figure now I look at it and I say, well, he cheated 15 years into our marriage. Well, he probably cheated more than that. But anyway, point being, I don't understand how that works with anyone. You know, you are married, but yet you're living in separate houses. I don't understand how that could even work. How can it help you raise your children? We both came from a two-parent home, even though a lot of stuff that went on his side and my side, we said we wasn't going to do it with our children.
Hmm.
Meaning the arguing and fighting, physically fighting, and all
Yeah.
of that stuff. But if you're going to raise your children, it's hard enough raising your children nowadays anyway. But we're talking 40 years from back when I got married. But anyways, bottom line is, no, I don't see how it benefits. I just can't stand it. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
don't. I don't understand it. And I do know about the Mormons and the others that have all these different wives, but like I said, I don't understand it, and I wouldn't. Let's say you're not gonna give advice. That's a new one on me. You learn something new every day. If somebody asked me something like that,
Yeah.
I would advise against it. I sure would, because, like I said again, and especially if you now maybe for some people that are having don't have any children, I don't know. Maybe it works for them, but I couldn't stand to be apart from mine. And same with him, And even when we got into it, say just like I got mad and I went home, I spent the night at my mother's house, but I was right back at home the next day. Yeah. But again, it doesn't make any sense to me. And make it make sense. I was reading about it in the chat where people have different views on it. But I, as being a married woman, no, yeah. I just
Let,
don't
let,
understand it.
let
And I
me.
don't see how it can work.
Yeah. Let me
You
ask you
know,
this. Let me ask you this.
okay.
When your husband passed, after your husband passed, had you ever considered? Have you ever considered getting into a relationship or maybe marrying again?
No. My kids are my life now, and that's what they keep on saying to me. My girls, they'll come and yeah, we'll go out for a drink or two. But no, I think that part of my life is over with. I'm not interested in being married no more. Like I said, he did break my heart after 15 years. And then nothing else after that. And he did adhere to what I said. That was a deal breaker if he had children outside of our marriage.
Hmm.
You asked me to marry your children. Yes, I've done that. And that would have killed us. even though I loved him so, and I stayed with him, even though he got sick. I with him until he passed in 22. But no, I've never considered it. Well, right now I'm still trying to get up off the floor. Every time I get up, something knocks me back down, and it's not just not just because of his death. It's a whole lot of things, but my mind gets to racing, and I get to thinking, and it's hard. It is hard. But now, after being married to a man for 15 years and then find out that he cheated on you, I don't see how I could marry anyone else. I don't think I would be able to trust nobody else no more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so no, I don't even see marriage in the future. I don't know what God holds for me, but I'm just, like I said, my children and my grandchildren, they're my life, And yeah, we, how we have family gatherings and so forth. There are other males that come in, well, we interact, but they knew me, they knew my husband, at the same time. There's one person in the family, he and I, we chit chat and what have you. But for as talking about getting together, no, I don't see it no more. I just think that part of my life is just over with. Like I said, unless God has something else in store for me, I don't know. But no, that's a new one on me. That is a new one on me. Being married and living in different households. When you get married, it's like. Son, you said it one time. You said you can be so in love with a person that you have to go to them and get part of you back. Well, that's how I felt when I found out that my husband cheated after 15 years of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I love this man so much, because he's done everything for me, any and everything, whatever I wanted. He made sure I had it, and same with the kids, he was the father, I was the mother. But at the same time, he made sure any and everything that I wanted, I had. It does not excuse his cheating, though. No.
Right.
I never even had the desire to be with another man, Well, naturally, he was keeping me satisfied. My husband would, say, for instance, he knew he had something to do. Okay. He would, we didn't have sex maybe a couple of hours, He knew that he had something to do. But he says, I'm not going away, leaving you frustrated. Okay? Going out, hitting the streets, doing what he's hustling, whatever. But anyway, yeah, he was a good man, other than that cheating part. He was good to his children, But I don't understand it. Could you tell me something that makes me might have halfway make me understand? Well, I heard her talk about Sherry on the View.
Okay. The reason that the reason that I asked you if you ever considered getting into a relationship after your husband passed is because you and your husband were married for so long. The way the things that y'all were looking for in each other at the beginning of y'all marriage, or whenever or when y'all got together, is so much different now. So you might look at it like it's going to be hard to ever get back what you and your husband had, especially now because y'all raised children with each other. You were probably part of his family. He was part of your family. And so, everybody recognize y'all as being together. You may get into a situation now where because you don't expect that to happen, you might accept a little lower. It'd be like if you drove a big Cadillac like a Seville or a Lincoln, a Lincoln all your life, you might get tired. Like later on, you might want a little economy car. You know what I mean? Not something that's big. Maybe something that doesn't use as much gas. You might be okay with that. So, that's the reason I was asking you, because your expectations going in Like how old were you when you got married to your husband?
17.
Yeah. You know, like at
I was
17.
17, he was 19. Yeah.
At 17, what did
And
you?
I know. That's what the girls say.
Yeah.
The boys, no, they might not even hear that. Anyway, that's what they say. Well, Mama, you and Daddy was so young when y'all got married. I said, but look what we done. We raised you all, and yes, I think we done good, with our children. But the boys, sometimes they would get tickets and what have you. And then I told you, my baby boy got in trouble. He had to go away. And that broke my heart, for that to happen. And he came home just to go home. My baby came home and he was home for 2 years. He crammed his truck driving school in. He done so much stuff to just get into an automobile accident. And that's what took his life. But like you said, I would never, ever go back, and I knew that. And I knew what he meant when he said that, But at the same time, I say that we've done pretty good with them, with raising our children. And I don't know how in the heck you can raise children and you're married and you're living in different households.
Yeah, no, I understand that. But what I was saying was, at 17, 18 years old, you didn't know too much about the world. You know what I mean? You it's like you grew up with your husband. So
children raising children. Yeah.
So, I mean, luckily and really spectacularly it worked out the way that y'all were able to literally be together till death do y'all part. But if you ever considered getting into another relationship, because you know what you know now, you understand how men can fall by the wayside at certain times, but you also understand how y'all can get past that and do well together. It's just a different it's a different situation. And your expectations might be different
now.
Now, I don't agree with the whole living in separate houses either. Like that doesn't make sense to me, because you can do that without getting married. So I'm just trying to, but a lot of people these days though are getting married, and then and the reasons that they're getting married might really, really surprise you. Like, I don't think that ain't no reason to marry nobody, but for them it is. And it may not work out for them in the long run, or maybe even in the middle run, but that's the path they chose. That's what they decided to do for themselves. And I mean, what can I say? I mean,
right, exactly. That's what they chose to do for themselves. Yeah, and you're right. But I don't know. Maybe one day. Hey. This is funny. We was in the store the other day, and this guy came up to me and he was talking to me, and just chit chatting, asking me, basically trying to shoot a line. And my daughter came up and she said, "Mama," he said, "Okay, Mama." I said, "Yeah, I'm Mama." She does that all the time, though. She does. But then you turn around and you say something else, But you can see she's a fully grown woman,
Yeah.
But anyway, it was funny. But yeah.
But yeah, people these days are getting married for all kinds of crazy reasons, and as long as the two people are in agreement, I don't have anything to say about it. But I don't know if both people are always in agreement. They may think that they're in agreement when they're really not. I don't know if you've ever done something like that, where you think that you agree with something, and then you find out a little bit more about it later on, like sort of like like a raffle ticket. Okay. You buy a raffle ticket off of somebody. They sell it. They trying to raise money for blah 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 blah. You buy a raffle ticket, and and maybe they say that we're going to be giving away $500, and all right, so you buy the ticket and you win by the luck of the draw. You win the raffle, and you realize that they didn't mean $500 up front. They meant like $500 in coupons, $500 in a store credit or something like that. And you're like, that's not,
Yeah.
that's not what I thought. So if $500 in coupons, that means I gotta spend $500 to save $500.
Right.
It's
I
like that.
understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's we I thought we were in agreement, but we weren't because I didn't understand the details. Now that might have been done on purpose just to get me to buy the ticket, but it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change the fact that I got into this thinking that it was going to be one way when I found out it was going to be another way. So maybe you got into this non-traditional marriage or this unconventional situation thinking that, okay, as long as me and you agree on this and we believe that it can work with each other, forget about what the rest of the world thinks. We're going to make it happen. Do you realize like maybe the rest of the world was right? The rest of the world might have been right. This ain't it. This ain't it.
Yeah. No. No. No, I can't see that. Like I said, I don't know what God has in store for me, but right now, it's been 3 years since he died.
Yeah.
But again, I say if I did, let's just say for argument's sake, let's just say I did get into a relationship, again, it would be very, very hard for me to truly give out. I would never be able to give my whole self to nobody, But I just couldn't trust. That's going to be a hard issue right there, to be able to trust in a person again the way I trusted in my husband, And it's wrong because a lot of people say, well, you're making that person be responsible for what your husband done.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
And I probably would be. Like I said, I did have to go to him and get some of me back. Yeah. I gave him every ounce of the 5'2", Yeah. Anyway, yeah. But I just wanted to share that and get it off my mind, because it's not a day that don't go by that I don't think about them. Actually, we had our firstborn child died in 1990 because he was given medicine. When they get out on their own, they don't tell you things, and he was out on his own at 20. He had his own apartment and, anyway, but he never got married. Anyway, some of the children are married. I got 2 that are not. Yeah, my baby girl. And it's going to be hard as heck for her because she's very bossy. And I don't know how she's going to get a husband. I just don't. Anyway. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. And,
no, I appreciate you calling in. I really do. That was good. That was good information. And maybe one day we'll figure this thing out.
Yeah, maybe one day. Yeah. Okay. All right. Love you guys.
All right. Love you. Have a good day.
Bye-bye. You too. Bye-bye.
Good stuff. All right. We've come to the very end. His beats, my rhymes are a perfect blend. We're going to do these birthday shout outs and we're going to get on the body here. But before we do all that, let's take a last look at this poll. We up to 23 votes. Do you think that you could be in a marriage where you don't live in the same house, where you and your spouse and the mouse don't live in the same house? One of y'all got to get out. And 17% people said, yes, that will work for me. 52% said, nah, we ain't doing that. That don't make no sense. I ain't doing it. 17% says, depends on the situation. And 13% says, whatever married people agree on is between them and not us. So I ain't gonna fuss. I oh shit. Okay. All right, check it out. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious April 5th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special because they are special because they are SPECIAL. We get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. We get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. We get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box. My girl, go get a sorta. Shelly Hernandez, and also my girl Karen Melissa, and she also has another page called Karen M Hill. You know, people be getting locked out of their pages for getting they password, or they get put in Facebook jail forever. Okay, and also Malika Robinson, happy birthday to you, and Latasha Muy Caliente Crawley, happy birthday to you, and Roger Crowder Jr., Denise Lopez, Beatrice Brewer, Deidre Barlow, Tyria, and Vita Legree. It's the same person, and we go all the way back to the 1982. That's my girl. And also Tenny Montero. And that's it. Last but not least, I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious. April 5th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally, all of y'all go ahead and turn it up. Turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out. Rock on to do the damn, to rock out. Rock on to do the damn, rock out. Rock on to do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Speaking of the queens and kings, you got married unconventional, but y'all doing your own thing. And what am I say about that? Well, I sing or try to make up some lyrics, and then you try and hear it. The spirit that lives within y'all don't have to be what's going on for me, but one day we'll see. Are you really happy enough going in? Because some people be mad from the very beginning. And I ain't saying that you're winning or losing, because it's all up in your mind. So in your mind, do you shine? In due time, will you look back on this shit favorably? I gotta say, maybe it's me that can't understand this concept, but I ain't trying to be with nobody in the bed that I don't sleep. You guys slept on, and I kept on going because I wanted to be with her, and this shit was showing. Tiptoeing around your feelings and your thoughts and the things you need to say. But hey, whatever floats your boat, what you eat don't make me shit, so I ain't gotta eat it. And I say I don't need it, but you might need it for yourself, and that's your health. My wealth has got to grow, and my wealth is not just the money that I have when I reap my soul. I told the line, I still get mine, and I ain't going to stop that until I close both of mine. Yeah, both of mine, my eyes are shut for good. Open them for the wait. Yo, for God's sake. I'm going to take instructions in a couple of cues. I ain't in this shit. I ain't never trying to lose, but the 1 and 2s, and you bang a bruise, and I ain't trying to get hurt. Yo, don't pull on my shirt. I'm trying to make it squirt. I'm trying to make it squirt. Make the bed wet. Yeah, wet as it the shit can get. All right. People get married for all kinds of reasons, yo. What the guan say about it? What the guan say about it? What the guan? Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. Love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. So make sure y'all come through because we're going to be talking about something dope. Let me see if I know what we're going to be talking about yet. Maybe. No. No, the answer is no. We don't know what we're going to be talking about. But maybe. We might. Yo, you ain't even right, man. I want to thank y'all for coming to me. Yeah, I had a good time today. My brother from another mother, Norris Hill. Yo, I want y'all to have a great rest of the day. I see y'all ain't out there protesting. I say y'all ain't out there protesting. Y'all protesting the protesting. I ain't mad at that. If you know what I'm talking about. I want y'all to have a great day. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. And we gonna get back. Holla! Peace.